someday you might see it. Yeah, never say die. Got to go.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to more of the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Dynasty Series deck profiles. It's me, Cooper, and today we're going to be talking about one of the 7 Shadow Riders, Tania. Tania is the big buff lady that we all have come to know and love, and she is amazing because she uses an Amazonas deck. Now, Amazonas cards have gotten a lot of buffs in recent years, but let's go ahead and take a look at the second iteration of Amazonas cards. The first was used by my Valentine back in the Battle City tournament that I threw, but this is the second time you'll see them with a brand new monster, the Amazonas Tiger. This Amazonas Tiger is probably her most solid card, along with a lot of the new spell trap card support that came around. So let's go ahead and dive into what Tania is capable of by going through her attack stat. So Tania's attack stat is going to be kind of easy to figure out because she does not have a tribute monster. It's just all of her level 4 monsters. I'm not even joking, and level 3 monsters. There are no tribute monsters in this deck. Amazonas Queen was not invented yet. And if it was, Tania would have looked like her. Alright, so here we go. We have Amazonas Paladin with super high attack at 17, and it gains 100 for every Amazonas card on the field. A monster on the field. It's perfect. This card naturally has 1800 attack because it counts itself. An 1800 beater is above the average. We now have Amazonas Chainmaster at 1500, which it's not the worst, but it's not the best. We have Amazonas Spider at 1500, which is not the worst, but it's not the best. We have Amazonas Swordswoman at 1500. It's not the worst, it's not the best. We have Amazonas Archer at 1400. It's not the worst, it's not the best. We have Amazonas Tiger at 1100, but for every Amazonas monster on the field, it gains 400 attack, which means naturally it's at 15, and with 2 monsters on the field, it's at 19. It's so freaking good. And then we have the Blow Piper dragging her down by 800. But overall, most of her monsters are not too bad, and the Tiger and the Paladin go above the average pretty damn... Well, Paladin goes above the average naturally, Tiger goes above the average really easily. So, looking at just her monster's powers, I could say, without a doubt, that this deck is average. 4 bars for Tania when it comes to attack. Normally I would go below average because Blow Piper and all these other monsters don't even hit the average, but in this kind of a series, we have Amazonas Tiger and Paladin messing it up by putting them above. A lot of people's normal monsters, you know, their monsters in their main deck do not go above the average, and the only reason the average was like 1750, 1800 was because of fusion monsters in this series. The fusion monsters really messed up the average, but overall she's 4 bars in attack. She's super solid there. Now we can get into her defense stat, which not too good when it comes to her Paladin. That kind of destroys it. Chainmaster's not the worst, 1300's usable. Fighter's not the worst, 1300's usable. Swordswoman is really good, 1600 is definitely nice. 1000 is whatever. Amazonas Archer is not great. Tiger's 1500, that's alright. You can get some use out of that. And Blow Piper's 1500. That's alright. You can get some use out of that. So sadly, the most tanky thing she's got is Swordswoman with 1600. And she doesn't have any potential to go higher, but overall the average for defense is lower than the average for attack, so I don't have to be as rude. However, 300 defense is going to drag that down quite a bit. That isn't to say she doesn't have defensive cards though. Some defensive cards she has is Heirloom, which stops you from getting destroyed by battle once per turn, I believe. And then you have Archers, which is all about lowering attack. You have Dramatic Rescue for getting your guy out of there, and these other ones don't matter. But yeah, Heirloom will stop you from getting destroyed once, so that's actually pretty handy to have. And because of that, I'm actually going to give Tania a 4 in defense. Despite, I would normally give her a 3, but thanks to Heirloom giving you that anti-destruction, even if it's only for 1 attack, giving any of these monsters the ability of Gyroid just sounds really nice. And it's even better than that when you read the second effect. So overall, I could give her a 4 in defense as well. But now we need to get into the speed stat. Now the speed stat is about search, it's about special summons, it's all about that. And looking at this, Chainmaster technically is a searcher. What you don't get to search your own deck or your own graveyard, what you get to do is take from your opponent's hand. But that's still taking a monster from your opponent's hand, and that's still searching. So that increases your speed stat. So it costs you 1500 life points, but when this card is destroyed by battle, you get it. Get something from their, yeah, just grab something. It's great. Fighter, nope, not for speed. Swordswoman, not for speed. Archer, not for speed. Tiger is not for speed. It doesn't have a special summon or anything. Blowpiper is not for speed. Let's see. Dramatic Rescue is. This is a special summoning card. Even if you do have to put a monster back in your deck that's getting targeted. An Amazoness monster gets targeted, then you get to save their lives and then summon a new one with the same level. All right. Oh no, it's just any other monster in your hand, which could even be monsters you steal using Chainmaster, so never mind, that's really good. And then we have the triple Amazoness Willpower, which for those of you that don't know, this is the Amazoness's Call of the Haunted. And since every monster in her deck is an Amazoness, this is just triple Call of the Haunted, which means speed from Dramatic Rescue, even though it's situational, speed from triple Amazoness Willpower, and speed from Chainmaster, even though that's also a little situational. So, because she's got situational, I'll put those together to make 1 bar of speed. And then we got the triple clean special summons. That's super fast. But it's not a lot of search to help out with it. So what I'm going to do, because she has triple Call of the Haunted, basically, I'm going to give her an average 4 bars in speed. She's earned this because even though these two are a little too situational and they don't always succeed, and honestly not a lot of people target in this series, this one will always work. This one will save the day. It's enough to drag this whole deck up to average instead of below average in speed. So, going on to Tania's skill stat. That's where things get a little bit more interesting because skill stat, anti-skill, you lose 1500, ignore that. Skill stat, Amazoness Fighter can stall just a little bit because you take no battle damage from cards involving this card, battles involving this card, and you can have Heirloom to make it indestructible in 1 battle. Then you have Swordswoman, which is perfect skill because basically any battle damage you would have taken with this monster, you do to your opponent instead. Which means that this is not a burn card technically, but you use it as a burn card. They summon a Blue Eyes on you, they take the 1500 damage. They're trying to hide in defense with a mystical elf and you attack their defense points, they take the 500 difference from your 1500 attack. You never take the battle damage when it comes to Swordswoman, and she's got 3 of them. Then we move on to the Amazoness Archer, which guess what? That's a skill card. Tribute 2 of your monsters and you get to do 1200 burn. Plus you contribute Amazoness Archer, so you only need 1 other monster and Archer, and you can do 1200 burn. Extremely large amount of burn. Really nice, and triple burn. So triple burn, little bit of stall. It's Tiger, not so much. Blowpiper, not so much. Archers is funny. Okay, wait, this one maybe. This is not technically burn, but what it does is it forces all of your opponent's monsters to attack your monster. Oh my god, that's rough. Yeah. Do I count that as burn? I think I will. Since you're forcing all of your opponent's monsters to attack, then yeah. And all of your opponent's monsters lose 500 attacks, so that means that you'll most likely win. Even if all you have is like a fighter or a swordswoman, you'll most likely be able to overpower them. So yeah, I'm going to count this just as, it's probably going to get like half a point, but so does fighter, so half a point. That's something. And the rest of these are not about skill, so the rest of these are about speed. So looking at this, we got burn, we got stall with Heirloom. We got a burn with Amazoness Archers. Honestly, looking at this deck, due to how much burn it has, due to how much, it doesn't have that much stall, I don't have to actually count that too much. I'll give them a point for all of it put together. This one's tough. I want to go above average, honestly. I want to say 5, but I think because only the burn cards are these two. Swordswoman is also as good burn. Archer does cost you 2 monsters, so that's not the best. You know what? I'm just going to go average on this one. Tania's skill stat is going to be a solid 4. Definitely you can win a duel with your skill stat alone. You can win a duel with Archer. You can win a duel with Swordswoman. You can stall a duel a little bit with Fighter, with Heirloom. That is possible, but overall, and this does take you down, so I can't go 5. Yeah, we're gonna go 4. She's gonna be an average skill stat, definitely can be used to win a duel, but it is not gonna be the only thing you do. So then we need to get into her brick stat, which, as you can see, none of these monsters are tribute. All of these spell cards have a use. Dramatic Rescue might be a little bit bricky, maybe. but honestly, I don't think I would count it. Yeah, you know what? It might be a little bricky, but it could also be the game-saving card. Every other card in this deck is usable. I can't see a single reason why you couldn't play any of these. You could still technically set Dramatic Rescue at the end of the day. So, you know what? I'm going to say it. Tania is perfect when it comes to brick. This deck is unbrickable. You got 21 monsters, all summonable. I mean, granted, Tiger King, you can't summon 2 tigers, but most of the time you don't draw 2 anyway. I've used this deck many times in test duels. I think only once I drew 2 tigers, but it didn't matter because I had other monsters. And I was never really dying because I had Amazon's Willpower to bring more back. It was completely fine. Honestly, this deck is a menace. This deck is a goddamn menace. Tania is so consistent. Tania has so many ways to win the duel. She is unbreakable. And you know what? When it comes to her potential, I'm just going to say it. She is a tournament winner. This deck is a 4-star deck. Yes, I know, it's crazy. It's like, but Cooper, look at the stats. It makes no sense to make this 4 stars. It's too consistent. I have won so many duels with this deck. I'm not even joking. I've won so many duels with this deck. The heirloom is busted. The archers is super funny. The willpower keeps my monsters alive. I mean, there's just so much potential here. Yeah, the blowpipers can be a little slow, but the rest of the monsters always do something. And blowpipers with archers, blowpipers with the Amazon's willpower can be used in a combo to weaken your opponent's attack points. Amazon's fighting spirit makes her very strong. So even though most of her monsters can't get above 1,000 or 1,500 attack, this gets her to 2,500 attack. So it's really freaking good. Yeah. No, I know this deck doesn't look it, but this deck is incredible. This deck, you need to try it out right now. Join me on Discord. You will be able to practice it with a bunch of people. Literally, this is a tournament winner. This is a 4-star potential deck. There are not many other decks that could beat this. Maybe Zane. Zane could probably beat this, but overall, this is a monster. So, that's going to be it, and I'll see you all in the next deck profile. Bye-bye.